Texans fans, have a great show on tap for you today, so stay locked in. I have the latest Texans roster moves. They've been getting a little tricky these past couple of days, making quite a few roster moves. I'll break it all down for you. Also, we have some updates on the Texans' last preseason game against the New Orleans Saints. DeMeco Ryans had some very interesting things to say. And at the end of the show, stick around because I'll give my take on CJ Stroud because I am sick and tired of all the disrespect for the Texans' future QB1. But before we get started on today's show, I am once again asking for your help here on Texans Today because my boss, we had a performance review last week. It's going into this week, and he said, hey, how come your channel can't beat the Titans? We have less likes than the Titans this month, 883 to their 926. I said, give me 1 second. Let me change that. Let me ask Texans fans to go and like today's video because I cannot be losing to those damn Titans who left our town high and dry. So if you could help me out, help me beat the Titans, go down and like today's video before we get started. And I wanted to break down a little bit more of the Cameron Dantzler news that happened Tuesday night. He was signed by the Texans on Tuesday, the former third-round pick for the Minnesota Vikings. And that just begs the question, will he get a chance to make this Texans roster? I don't know, because he's coming in last week of training camp, last preseason game. I don't know if he's going to get that much run against the New Orleans Saints. He's obviously a talented kid. He went third round for a reason, and this Texans corner room underwhelmed me against the Miami Dolphins. I mean, Xavier Thomas got beat a couple times on run plays going to the outside. Shaq got beat as well. Shaq Griffin on that long run from Salvin Ahmed. And I just wonder, do the Texans not feel comfortable with their CB room bringing in a guy like Cameron Dantzler? Obviously, he has had some run in the league, 35 career games played, all with the Minnesota Vikings, tallying up 149 tackles, 17 pass breakups, 3 interceptions, and 3 forced fumbles. And we take a look at the Texans cornerback room. We have a solid starting 3 guys. Derek Stingley, Steven Nelson, Desmond King. Those are your top 3 guys. After that, I feel a little less comfortable with who we have. We have Shaq Griffin, Kadar Holman, Xavier Thomas. We added Cameron Dantzler. Do we feel comfortable with, the back end of this depth chart for the Texans corner room? I really think it's going to come down to Cameron Dantzler fighting with 2 guys in particular. I think the first one is Kadar Holman. He made a great, touchdown-saving tackle towards the end of the second quarter in that Texans-Dolphins preseason game. He hasn't gotten a lot of run in the NFL. These are his career stats: 10 tackles, 3 pass breakups. Texans traded for him last year from the Green Bay Packers. But I wonder, will Kadar, has he proved enough to make this Texans roster? Because I really think they're keeping 5 cornerbacks on this team. Is it Xavier Thomas? He got beat a couple times, most notably on a 4th and short. The wide receiver ran a quick out, and he just couldn't get there. Dolphins got a first down. That was a huge play, a big momentum swing. If that was a regular season, that would have been an awful play by Xavier. And I don't know. Cameron, he has the most skill out of these guys. There's no doubt about it. But does the Texans coaching staff trust Cameron Dantzler to be that guy that comes in who, maybe even on special teams? I think that's where we'll see a lot of it. But I want to hear from you folks at home. What do you have to say on this subject? Who do you think is going to make the roster? If you had to pick one of these guys to make the roster, who do you think it's going to be? If you think it's Cameron Dantzler type CD, Xavier Thomas type TT, Kadar Holman type KH, or if you think it's somebody else on the roster, go ahead and type other. This is going to be the pinned comment on today's video, so go down and answer today's question. Might not be the sexy pick, but I think it might be Holman because I think he gives you stuff on special teams, and I think, his familiarity being with the Texans all off season. I don't love the idea of Kadar Holman being your fifth corner on the roster, but I just have a feeling it might be Kadar Holman. I know Dantzler is the more sexy pick. I know Dantzler just signed, has the higher pedigree than Holman. But at the end of the day, when we look at this Texans CB depth chart, either one of these guys, they're not getting a ton of run on the defensive side of the football unless somebody gets injured. It's going to be mainly Derek Stingley, Steven Nelson, Desmond King, Shaq Griffin. I just think Kadar gives you more, he gives you more on the on the special team side of the football. And what he can do with that, I think, makes him a reason why he's going to make this team over somebody like a Cameron Dantzler. Now going on to some more news and notes from the Houston Texans over the past couple days. They recently signed Darius Joyner out of Duke, a UDFA this offseason. I don't think he makes the roster. I think it's just another guy to bring in because they waived Tyree Gillespie with an injured designation. Only played in 3 games last season. They end up waiving Gillespie, the former Raiders draft pick. And, this is just some wheeling and dealing on the bottom end of the roster to get somebody out there for the Texans preseason game because, like I'm going to mention later on in the show, DeMeco Ryans kind of gave it away a little bit of what he's planning on doing in that last preseason game. Also, they re-signed Keaton Sutherland. They brought him in, they waived him, now they're bringing him back. I didn't even get a chance to change the Texans' offensive line depth chart that I have because he got cut, and then they're bringing him back already. And this move is corresponding to them moving Killian Zierer, the UDFA out of Auburn, to IR. He got injured in that Dolphins-Texans game, so that means Keaton Sutherland, you're back in. And coming up, as I mentioned, DeMeco kind of hinted at what his plans are in the final preseason game against the New Orleans Saints. I'm going to let you know exactly what DeMeco had to say. But first, Texans fans, I have a great deal for you. You need some Texans gear. And maybe you don't want to wear a jersey. Maybe you're not a jersey guy. I'm a big polo guy. So I found a great deal with our partners at Fanatics on a pack of Texans polos. Right now, they are 33% off. If you go to chatsports.com/Texans polo, great deal on some Texans polos for you. I like wearing polos, and I said, hey, it's a casual thing that you can wear out. You don't game day jerseys, awesome. But you don't always want to wear a jersey on a Wednesday or Thursday night going out with the boys. If you're just trying to go to the bar, if you're just trying to hang out, these Texans polos, perfect for those situations. Go get yours today with our friends at Fanatics. All you got to do, chatsports.com/Texans polo. So this is what DeMeco Ryans had to say on, kind of his game plan against the Saints. He said, as of right now, our plan is to get our first guys probably about 2 series and see how that goes and allow the younger guys to have a lot of work in the game, which for me is kind of confusing because a lot of your starters are younger guys. So we'll see how that kind of fits in that situation. But we'll be live for that game this Sunday night. The game starts at 7 p.m. Central Time, and I will be live on the channel giving you play-by-play, giving you instant reaction for this game. And that's just another reason why you subscribe, folks, because we have the best Texans news and rumors updates all season long. And the more subs we get, the more watch parties we can do. They're so much fun. Thank you all for joining me on our inaugural live stream last week. But I want to know who's going to be rocking and rolling with me on Sunday night, prime time, the last preseason game of the year. Type me in the comment section if you'll be there. Texans, Saints, Sunday night. Who's going to be rocking with me? And before I let you go, I really wanted to give my thoughts on this because CJ Stroud's kind of been drugged through the media. A lot of disrespect going towards this young man right here. And I for one, saw a ton of improvement from game 1 to game 2, and he had a half of football. The Texans only put up 3 points. I know they didn't score when inside the red zone, some rookie mistakes. But overall, I loved what I saw from CJ Stroud. He was getting the ball out quick, was finding receivers, was able to place the ball spectacularly where only his guys could get it. You know, that throw, that out route to Robert Woods, beautiful throw. The throw on the run to Noah Brown where he dropped it on third down, another beautiful throw by C.J. Stroud. And I'm just saying, give this man a chance because I believe he can be great. He can be a great player in this league. You just got to give him the opportunity and give him a little bit of time to get his bearings in the NFL. But I loved what I saw out of my QB1, CJ7. And even though I know DeMeco Ryans hasn't named him the starter, this is what he had to say when asked who will be the starting QB in week 1. He said, in everybody's case, we'll see who earns what, and you'll see our starters in Baltimore. And I've seen this taken out of proportion. ESPN wrote an article, C.J. Stroud won't start. Davis Mills and Case Keenum could get more run than C.J. Stroud. Baloney. This is just coach speak by DeMeco. He doesn't want to give anything away. He doesn't want to give any, advantage to the Baltimore Ravens. He's just saying, hey, I'll let you know who's starting in week 1. And it's going to be C.J. Stroud. He started all throughout the preseason. He's been getting all the reps with the ones for the last 2 weeks in training camp. It's going to be C.J. Stroud. Stop it with all the hate. Stop it with all the, I don't know about C.J. Stroud. Maybe the Texans made the wrong decision. Let this man play some football and let him spin it and do what he does best, because I'm sick and tired of all the BS out there about C.J. Stroud, because he's going to prove all you wrong. He's going to prove all you wrong right now. And if you're with me on this one, if you want to give this guy a chance, if you're a real one and believe in C.J. Stroud to be the franchise guy, go down there and spam CJ7, because I'm fired up for this Texans season. I don't know about you. I am sick and tired of being the bottom dwellers of the AFC. I think DeMeco Ryans, I love what him and his staff have done. I love the fact that they brought in C.J. Stroud, the number 2 pick in the NFL draft, and he's going to show all you why he was chosen number 2, and he's going to bring the Texans back to relevancy.